So I'm Ruhakana, Rugunda. I'm at the moment a farmer, but I have had quite a busy activity on the political scene, and I have seen Uganda gradually evolve in value addition and in industrialization. I remember the times when we were importing almost all the essentials: sugar, salt, milk, many items. But I'm happy that Uganda is a country which produces its own food, and these additional importations like sugar, milk, salt and the like, which we use to import, are no longer issues of concern, because Uganda is now a net exporter of, say, sugar. It is a big exporter of milk, and I therefore salute the peace and stability in our country and the leadership of the country, which has created an enabling environment for value addition and industrialization, and has made Uganda a relatively self-reliant country. Of course, there is still a lot of room of new industries, but we are making good progress. I think it was something like 20 or more years ago when the showground at Rugogo was opened. I still remember a swampy, small area, and I remember people like Murwana, Laleit, Wavamuno, and other Ugandan business people, Amos Nzea and the like, trying to put their act together to at least show what Uganda was producing. People like the Meta Group and the Cultural Sugar Works came in and they were showing what they are able to produce. But exhibitors from outside were very, very minimal. I'm happy to see that this small number, which started exhibiting, has now greatly expanded. Many Ugandan companies are showing their products, and I'm also happy that regional and international companies have also taken the cue and are now exhibiting, and the people of Uganda therefore have now a wide range of products from which to choose what they want to buy. The issue is now quality. Ugandans are looking for quality, and they are looking for what gives them value for money. We have therefore made significant progress in the area of value addition and in the area of industrialization, and we are clearly on the track, and we are increasing in this sector. We would like to see industrialization getting a substantial share of the economy and the national revenue than what we have at the moment. Many things have contributed to Uganda being a net exporter and gradually becoming an industrial country. But some of the critical factors that have contributed to this, one is peace and stability in the country, brought in by good leadership. And I must here commend President Museveni for having been a good team leader, a good leader and president for the country, and for having given unequivocal, consistent support to the issue of production, industrial production, and the value addition. And not only industrial production, but you must also produce raw materials. So we have had a lot of agricultural products available to support the agro-processing industries. Apart from the good leadership and the peace and stability and security that I've quoted, has been the provision of power. The country at one stage was in darkness, and the question of power to industries could therefore not be considered, but the government put focus on the provision of power, and today Uganda has enough power for her people and her industrialization program, and Uganda is also exporting power to the neighboring countries. So if you want, Uganda is a regional power center. Then there has been the issue of infrastructure. Power, in a way, you can say, you can look at it also as part of the infrastructure, but the making of the roads, the revamping of Uganda Airline, an airline for Uganda, and the improvement that is going on at Entebbe Airport. All of these infrastructure projects help the process of value addition, of industrialization. And Lake Victoria has become a huge asset. Apart from the provision of fish, it is also a big route for our exports and imports. So infrastructure development has been a major issue. Let me add an additional factor that has been an asset to us. Our president has been a leading champion for regional cooperation, for East African community. The East African community, which had 3 countries of Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, has now about 7 or so countries. This has enabled the creation of a strong regional market for us, so that when you come and invest in Uganda, you know you are not only investing in Uganda, but you are investing in East African community with perhaps now about 300 million people. Therefore, this policy of regional cooperation is a major success story in terms of expanding our market. You may know that countries like Kenya used to be exporting a lot of commodities in Uganda. In fact, some Ugandans were complaining, oh, Kenya, Kenya, Kenya. But now, as you know, Uganda sometimes exports more commodities to Kenya. So the answer is not small countries, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. The issue is building a big regional market which will benefit all our peoples. And of course, the final point that I want to make on this question of market and industrialization is creation of an African market, which we have already agreed to create, and now the mechanisms of operationalization of this market and getting the best value out of the continental market are being worked out. In a nutshell, we have moved a long journey from underproduction, from net importers of many commodities, to a country which is now a proud exporter of some of our commodities, and a country which is a proud country in industrialization because of the many factories that are now being put up. It is true that we should now also ensure that we focus on production of raw materials and using those raw materials to add value and ensure that the whole value chain is satisfied. Cotton is one major area, coffee another major area. Still, we are just at the beginning. We are scratching the tip of the iceberg. So the country is poised to make progress on all those fronts. And now that we have sorted out the question of power and infrastructure is in place, and the regional market and an African market in place, Uganda is going to explode in terms of industrialization. And accompanying industrialization, of course, will be the creation of jobs, and creation of jobs will mean fighting against poverty. Very welcome.